When the call came in that morning, Megan thought it would be another routine rescue. Maybe a lost puppy, maybe an injured deer. But when the ranger on the line said, "We found a cougar cub alone," her entire world shifted. A cougar cub that young, barely 6 weeks, should never be without its mother. But fate had made a cruel decision, and Megan was the only hope he had left. 2 hours later, a ranger stepped out of his truck, holding a carrier that shook violently from the inside. Inside was a tiny, furious, flame-eyed cub, no bigger than a house cat, but radiating wild fear. His mother had been found nearby, struck by a car. The cub had claws, attitude, and a scream that could scare an entire forest. Megan whispered, "You're just a baby," as he hissed and slapped there. The exam didn't bring good news. Dehydrated. Underfed. Lost. He needed round-the-clock care. But what he really needed was a mother, something Megan could never be. Then she remembered Luna. Luna, a calm, towering, 90-pound Great Pyrenees, famous for mothering every creature she'd ever met. Lambs, ducklings, even a rejected piglet. Luna had the patience of a saint and the soul of a guardian. Introducing a wild cougar cub to a domestic dog was risky, maybe even foolish. But so was letting the baby fade away without a chance. The introduction room was silent, except for the cub's tiny growls. Luna walked in slowly, her tail low, her eyes soft. She sniffed the carrier, then exhaled a deep, gentle huff, the same calming sound she used with orphaned puppies. The cub froze. Then, after a long, trembling pause, he stepped forward. His nose touched her paw, so small it didn't even cover one toe. He let out a soft, confused chirp. And Luna, without hesitation, leaned down and gave one slow, tender lick across his head. Megan covered her mouth. Luna had accepted him. And from that moment, everything changed. The team named the cub Shadow because he followed Luna everywhere. Under her chest, between her legs, stepping on her fluffy tail, he was her tiny satellite. His wild instinct showed up instantly, pouncing on bowls, ambushing her feet, climbing her back. Luna took every bit of chaos with saint-level patience. When thunderstorms rolled through the valley, Shadow buried his whole body under Luna's thick mane, trembling. He learned how to play gently from her. He learned what safety felt like. He learned the world wasn't all fear and loss. The internet fell in love when Megan posted the first video titled, "Luna's Wild Child." Millions watched their daily lessons. The art of napping, Luna sprawled gracefully, Shadow upside down on her stomach. How to walk calmly, Shadow failed every time. And the legendary moment Shadow tried to bark like her and only squeaked. But rescue work comes with heartbreak built into its design. Shadow grew. Fast. His paws got huge. His muscles hardened. His leaps became explosive. He was still gentle with Luna, but nature was calling him, louder each day. Then news arrived. The Northern Wildlife Sanctuary had space, one of the best cougar rehabilitation programs in the country. It was time for Shadow to learn how to survive on his own. Luna knew before anyone said it out loud. She groomed him more. She nudged him toward independence. And for the first time, she let him win their wrestling matches. The night before he left, Megan found Luna curled tightly around Shadow in his enclosure, just like the first night they met. Shadow's paw rested on her nose. Luna didn't move an inch, even after Megan whispered her name. Morning came. Shadow walked into the transport crate without fear, because Luna had taught him crates were safe. Luna followed until her nose touched the metal door. She let out one soft, aching whine. Shadow answered with a chirp, clear, pure, and full of trust. At the sanctuary, lead rehabber Daniel blinked in disbelief. A dog raised this, no way. Shadow moved with confidence, not fear. Strength, not panic. Kindness, not aggression. All because of Luna. Months passed. Shadow trained. He hunted, climbed, learned to stalk silently. His wild instincts sharpened beautifully. When the day came to release him, the forest was heavy with morning fog. The crate opened. Shadow stepped out, sniffed the air, and slipped into the trees like a whisper. He did not look back. He didn't have to. Luna had taught him everything he needed. Back home, Megan braced herself for Luna's sadness. But Luna had already adopted 3 abandoned fox kits, letting them crawl over her like she was their personal mountain. Megan laughed through tears. That's who you are, Luna, a mother to the world. 2 years later, Megan received an unexpected email from Daniel. Attached was a trail camera photo of a massive adult cougar patrolling deep in the valley. His body strong, his coat perfect, his posture confident. And one detail caught Megan's breath. A faint puff of condensation at his throat. A steady, rhythmic rumble. He was purring as he walked. Cougars don't normally purr while moving. They purr when they feel safe, when they remember love. Megan knelt beside Luna, now old, graying, and grooming a tiny orphan skunk kit. She whispered, "You didn't just save him. You taught him the world could be kind." And somewhere in those mountains, Shadow carried that kindness with him. A wild heart shaped by an unlikely mother.